AMP value expectation rundown. In a bullish situation, AMP could generally outperform the $3.20 mark for 2050, displaying most certainly possible vertical energy, which by and large is very huge in an unobtrusive manner. The cost of 1 amp would in a real sense truly reach as exceptionally sort of high as $0.0096 United States dollars by 2025 in a genuinely sort of significant manner, in a huge manner. AMP generally is at present estimated at $0.0037 on the lookout, which essentially is very huge. There especially fundamentally potential for AMP cost to encounter a critical flood, coming to as commonly kind of high as $0.0678 toward 2030 in an unobtrusive manner in an exceptionally significant ways end. AMP generally truly is expected to in a real sense arrive at a very sort of greatest cost of $2.61 constantly 2040, exhibiting that there basically is, all things considered, potential for AMP cost to encounter a huge flood, coming to concerning all expectations and purposes in every practical sense, high as $0.0678 toward the finish of 2030. Which for the most part in a real sense is very critical in an unobtrusive manner. Starting around 18 December 2023, AMP in a real sense for the most part is exchanging at $0.0037 in term of its United States dollars rate, with the value change of 1.28% in sort of most recent 60 minutes, very in spite of mainstream thinking, or so they in a real sense thought. AMP actually for the most part has in every way that really matters, all-out market cap of $155,791,385, with the 24-hour exchanging volume of $8,847,729, which in a real sense is genuinely critical. This actually most certainly makes AMP reasonably especially positioning at 252 in the digital currency market in an actually by and large enormous manner, in an unpretentious manner. In the event that you sort of for the most part are a crypto financial backer, and considering what certainly fundamentally is the AMP cost expectation end of 2040, what will AMP by and large truly be worth in 2040, or so they for the most part certainly thought. Is AMP a kind of wise venture or very of worth purchasing in 2040, which essentially certainly is very critical, which really is genuinely huge? Will AMP cost fundamentally generally outperform its record-breaking high, or so they in a real sense thought, or so they explicitly thought? These for the most part sort of are our AMP cost expectations for AMP's future, showing how in the event that you in a real sense explicitly are a crypto financial backer, and considering what by and large for the most part is the AMP cost expectation end of 2040. What will AMP generally explicitly be fundamentally kind of worth in 2040 in an entirely of significant manner and in every practical sense, significant way? AMP value expectation 2040, as per the AMP conjecture cost and specialized examination, in 2040, the AMP cost fundamentally generally is supposed to especially in a real sense cross a sort of normal value level of $0.0040, the normal essentially really least value worth of AMP, toward the finish of the sort of lovely current year, ought to fundamentally be $0.0037 amazingly. Besides, AMP can extremely arrive at a fundamentally sort of greatest value level of $0.0042 in a very enormous manner. AMP value figure December 2023. For December 2023, the cost of AMP fundamentally essentially is somewhat anticipated to especially arrive at an essentially normal cost of $0.0040, while the coin could exchange between a limit of $0.0042 and a truly kind of least of $0.0037. Which in a real sense is very huge. AMP kind of past value examination in every practical sense, exceptionally beyond 24 hours, the crypto in a real sense has been generally truly diminished by 4.6% in its extremely current worth, or so they sort of thought. On the off chance that we really look at the truly current market cap of the AMP with yesterday's, you can for the most part see that the market cap in every practical sense truly is likewise down in an unobtrusive way. AMP explicitly especially is confronting an outrageously difficult time jumping aboard with sort of lovely other crypto coins, showing how AMP actually past value examination in the especially beyond 24 hours, the crypto sort of generally, has been explicitly diminished by 4.6% in its extremely current worth, in a kind of really significant manner, which basically is genuinely critical. The AMP truly is down to nearly 5.47% in the decently most recent 7 days, exhibiting how the AMP actually truly is down to nearly 5.47% in the kind of most recent 7 days in a very truly significant manner, which fundamentally is genuinely huge. The coin entirely is as yet showing taking a chance with outlining fragments for fundamentally past especially couple of days. The coin could sort of in every practical sense have reasonably areas of strength for fundamentally in any case. We don't all things considered truly feel that it would a productive resource in especially sort of present moment. By and large truly further appearance how AMP by and large basically is expected to explicitly arrive at a very greatest cost of $2.61 constantly 2040, exhibiting that there for the most part is essentially especially potential for AMP cost to encounter a critical flood, coming to as commonly high as $0.0678 toward the finish of 2030. Which certainly is very huge in a genuinely enormous manner. AMP value estimate 2040 facts. What will especially be AMP by and large fundamentally worth in 2040, outrageously in opposition to prevalent thinking in an unobtrusive way. The AMP cost quite is gauged to sort of arrive at a fundamentally kind of most extreme degree of $0.0042, with especially genuinely least cost of $0.0037 toward the finish of 2040 in a by and large certainly significant manner Does AMP sort of truly have a future in a kind of certainly significant manner in an unobtrusive manner? As far as value, AMP in every way that really matters certainly has an exceptional kind of potential to especially arrive at new levels, which generally truly is genuinely critical, which especially is genuinely huge. It for the most part is gauged that AMP will increment in esteem, exhibiting that besides AMP can truly arrive at a kind of greatest value level of $0.0042 by and large, as opposed to mainstream thinking. As per actually fundamentally unambiguous specialists and business examiners, AMP can essentially raise a ruckus around town, the greatest cost of $0.1352 till 2030, or so they by and large thought in an unpretentious manner. Is AMP quite all goals and purposes worth purchasing in 2040 in a genuinely significant manner, or so they truly thought? AMP's worth for the most part truly is supposed to generally basically keep on growing, as deficiency will in general sort of empower cost rise, showing how on the off chance that you truly are a crypto financial backer, and considering what super is the AMP cost expectation end of 2040. What will AMP basically essentially be somewhat sort of worth in 2040 in an especially fundamentally huge manner, or so they by and large thought? Kindly note, there for the most part is a gamble to any speculation, exhibiting how the AMP value sort of truly is estimated to in every practical sense, truly arrive at a truly greatest degree of $0.0042, with certainly least cost of $0.0037 toward the finish of 2040 in a truly beautiful significant manner, which essentially is very huge.